Good evening, welcome to our bi-monthly meeting. At this point, we'll open the meeting to the public to address the board on any topic. You also have a chance at the end of the meeting. If anyone wants to address the board, they may do so at this time or later. Okay, minutes of the previous meeting, February 3rd. Anyone notice any errors or omissions?
Make motion to accept the minutes as written.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, bills. Are there any additional bills?
We have two additions. One is business card. It's for a Bluetooth auto receiver for the Civic Center stereo system here. And the other one is the New York Power Authority in the amount of $73,459.22. That's your monthly utility bill.
Any comment on the bills?
I make a motion to pay the bills.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Correspondence?
We have one this evening. Dear Mayor Bather and Board of Trustees, this letter is to serve as notification of my retirement effective May 30th, 2020. In accordance with Village of Rouses Point Code, Chapter 19, Section 16, this letter serves as a 3-month notification that is required. I would like to thank the current board and past boards for the opportunity to have served as library director, village clerk, and most recently village administrator. Thank you, Donna Borno.
Anything else? Any others?
Nothing else.
Okay. You have a, hold on a second here. No, these are gonna be out of order. Okay, we have the information on the trees for power through NIPA. The village regularly participated in this program whereby the village and village residents may purchase trees through this program at a very reduced cost. I believe they have red maples, sugar maples, red oaks, honey locusts, eastern white pine, American sycamore, little leaf linden, flowering choice, and eastern hemlock. And I have the Latin names for these two if anybody needs to know that. Yeah. So, the way I understand it, they have a sliding scale of prices here. Like, I'll just, as a for instance, a 1.5 inch diameter red maple is $94. And a 2.5 inch diameter maple is $133. But you get 2 trees for the price of 1. So if you wanted a red maple at 1.5 inches, it would cost $94 for two maples, which is like $50 a piece. And it's that way on all of them.
Yeah.
Now, as I understand it, the way this is that you would have to order your trees through the village and pay the village, and then we would consolidate the order and send in one order for the total amount to NIPA and receive all the trees at one time. So the question is, let's see what was there a date on this, when it's due, Don?
There is,
May 1st.
May 1st.
Okay, so that's good. So, what I would like to know is, does the village want to go along with this program? And if we do, we should publicize it as best we can throughout the village. Maybe I'll put a note in the next bills that go out. And also, how many trees do you think the village should buy in dollar amount for budget purposes? Because this will be next year's budget. I can put it in the budget this year. I was thinking maybe a couple thousand or so, but it's up to you guys.
Yeah, I would say, because we're looking to put some in the rec park, right?
Yeah, I think they need some, yes. Yes, they need, in fact, I think that's in the plan, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we could do that as in-kind services.
Does it vary year to year, how many we've got in the past?
Well, it used to be, we were
Depends how
fairly
many
regular, and then they
people-
stopped,
People participate.
they stopped doing it. Like, I bought a couple of red maples, I bought 3 of them, which must have been 20 years ago.
Oh,
And,
yeah. Just about all the trees around my house are all.
yeah. So what I would say is,
Pines, a couple of maples, a couple red.
I'll tell you what, I'll ask trustee Arnold and trustee Dart to just go around the village, don't go out of your way to do it, but see if you can spot some places where we might need some trees for the village, for village property. I know we need a couple at the library.
Yeah.
And just look at the different streets and just get a ballpark figure, we need 20 trees, 30 trees, whatever. And then we'll try to figure it out and what the recommendation is. I know we've had good luck with red maples.
Yeah.
They don't grow very high, but they grow pretty fast, but they're not like a soft maple, but it's completely up to,
Yeah, I think red maple is,
you know, we could get a mixture too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then in the meantime, we'll advertise it to the village residents so they can get in on this.
I think we put 2,500 in the budget this year.
And then just get whatever we can with that. But you have to be right on top of it in April to figure out what you want for your order.
Right.
Because that's gonna be like, maybe about 20, 25 trees should probably cover.
Could we have to vote on that, please? If you're gonna participate?
Yes, yes, I'll make a motion. The village participate in the NIPA Trees for Power program, and then it also be extended to village residents. And, so I'll make that as a motion,
I'll second that.
okay?
We should authorize the clerk to advertise.
Well, we don't really
Do you
want
wanna just
legal
put
ad,
it,
we're
you
just
wanna put
gonna,
it on the?
on the website and on the village,
Maybe on the bills?
the bills that come out in maybe April or so, we'll put them out.
Okay.
We put it on the sign up here?
Yep. We'll do all, in other words, all our in-house
Right.
advertising that we can without spending $200 on legal ads, you know,
Right, right.
because we don't need a legal ad for this.
Yeah.
Well, if somebody makes up, well, we can make a thing, sheet like this and go around and put it in the businesses.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
Or, yeah, even the one that they gave us, the form.
Well, that's what we need to do is get the form for everybody, at least let everybody know that they have to pick up a form at the office.
Okay.
We'll work on some kind of handout to give her. Okay, so a motion and a second to participate in this. And the board wants, should amend that to say, and we'll also add $2,500 to the next year's budget for this program. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okay, now I have, this. Okay, I have a resolution for the polling place hours. The polls are open and the addresses of those nominated. Whereas the next general election of the Village of Rouses Point shall be held on March 18th. Whereas the Board of Trustees is required by the election law to adopt resolution designating polling places and hours polls shall be open and the addresses of those nominated. Be it therefore resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Rouses Point designates the polling place for each election district to be Halsted Hall, Civic Center, 39 Lake Street, Rouses Point, New York, and that the hours during which the polls shall be open will be 12 noon till 9 p.m. The candidates nominated in accordance with the provisions of Article 15 are Ron LeBlanc, Rouses Point, New York, Office of Mayor, Jedediah Thone, Rouses Point, Office of Mayor, Benjamin Arnold, Rouses Point, New York, Trustee, Thomas Dart, Rouses Point, Trustee, and Brian Pelkey, Rouses Point, Trustee. Be it therefore resolved that the village clerk is hereby directed to publish this resolution in full in a press Republican and post a copy of this resolution in at least 6 conspicuous places within the village on or before March 8th. This resolution shall take effect immediately, and I move that to the floor. No? Yeah, for a second.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second Roll call vote, trustee Menard,
Aye.
trustee Arnold,
Aye.
trustee Dart,
Aye.
trustee Gadway is absent, the mayor votes aye. I request an executive session to discuss the employment history of a particular employee.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Dog park location. I've had some discussions with people around town, I've talked to the board briefly before the meeting. We think it might be a better idea to move the site of the proposed new dog park, exercise park, from the original spot on village property in the north end of the village to adjacent to the water tower on property to be acquired from ERS for the water purification plant location. There's up to 7.5 acres available, and we feel that the water purification plant will occupy approximately 1.5 acres, maybe 2. So we'll have plenty of room up there, and it puts it in a more central location in the village, and it also has an established road that the park will be in view from the road, so we wanted to put up signs directing people in a driveway behind other buildings. So I'd like to make that a motion to the board that we designate that as a tentative site for the dog recreation park.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. I'll announce I'll have a budget workshop at 6 p.m., an hour before the meeting starts on March 2nd. By that time, I should have anything that's questionable that I think would make things go easier with the board. Smooth them out before I put them in the budget. So we'll talk about it then and get a consensus on some of these things.
Where is it gonna be held?
Right here before the
Oh, here?
meeting, yeah.
Oh,
We
okay.
just come in an hour early.
Oh, okay. Okay, you said going upstairs.
Right. Okay, okay, I have a resolution 20-07 for the engineering grant authorization for representative. This is for an engineering grant that we applied for the wastewater treatment plant force main. We had put in for a grant at the time when we thought it was gonna cost a lot of money to replace the line. And they said that before we could get reimbursed or get money to pay for the line, that we had to do an engineering study of it first. And that cost they granted, I think, $24,000 for that. Subsequent to that, we realized that the village crew could do this with in-house labor. So to that end, we purchased all the materials we think needed to do that. And to have them on hand in case the line breaks in the wintertime or something, we'll be right there ready to replace it. Hopefully, it'll hold together till the weather breaks and the frost goes. We can do it then, but if it goes in the wintertime, we're ready to go. But they had, our people had conversations with DEC and the health department, and since it's not their money, they're requiring us to have engineering plans even if we do the work. See, originally we thought the engineering study was to precipitate getting the materials and the labor and, having Luck Brothers or somebody come in and replace it for us. So they decided in New York State will engineer it. So I'd held off accepting the grant until I found out for sure whether we were gonna need it or not. And now they're making us use it, so. Anyway, so the first thing I need to do is, let's see. Need to authorization for representative to execute the grant agreement. Now therefore, be it resolved that the Village of Rouses Point administrator or mayor is authorized to execute a grant agreement with New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation and any and all other contracts, documents, instruments necessary to bring about the project and to fill the Village of Rouse's Point's obligation under the grant agreement. So I move that to the floor. I need a second.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote. Trustee Arnold.
Aye.
Trustee Dart.
Aye.
Trustee Menard.
Aye.
Trustee Gadway is absent. The mayor votes aye. Then we have, resolution 20-08. Authorization and appropriation of local match engineering planning grant program. This is where we're gonna, I'll read it, it's self-explanatory, but basically, we have to match a portion of their grant, their $24,000, and we're gonna put the whole thing in, so we've already matched it basically by buying the materials, but now, therefore be it resolved that the Village of Rouse's Point authorizes and appropriates a minimum of 20% local match as required by the engineering planning grant for a collection system improvement study, force main under the EPG. This local grant must be at least $4,800 of the $24,000 grant. The source of local match and any amount in excess of the required match will be provided by the recipient in the form of an in-kind service or general fund appropriations. Maximum local match shall not exceed $4,800 based on the estimated project cost of $28,800. Mayor or the village administrator may increase this local match through use of in-kind services without further approval from the Village of Rouse's Point Board of Trustees. This resolution shall take effect immediately. I move this to the floor for a second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, roll call vote. Trustee Arnold.
Aye.
Trustee Dart.
Aye.
Trustee Menard.
Aye.
Trustee Gadway is absent, the mayor votes aye. Incidentally, these resolutions that I just read were the boilerplate that they sent us. You know, this isn't something we cooked up, this is life in New York State. Okay, resolution 20-909, seeker determination type 2 engineering planning grant program. Whereas Title VI of New York State Code of Rules and Regulations, Section 67800, seeker provides that certain actions identified in subdivision C of that section are not subject to environmental review under the Environmental Conservation Law. Now, therefore, be resolved that the Village of Rouse's Point hereby determines that the proposed collection system improvement study is a type 2 action in accordance with 6 New York CRR, maintenance or repair involving no substantial changes to an existing structure or facility, replacement, rehabilitation, or reconstruction of a structure or facility in kind on the same site, including upgrading buildings to meet building energy or fire codes, et cetera. Anyways, this is for the grant for the sewer line.
Yeah.
And we're just saying there's no environmental, we've determined that there's the lead agency, we're determined that there's no environmental concerns. So I move that to the floor. I need a second.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote. Trustee Arnold.
Aye.
Trustee Dart.
Aye.
Trustee Menard.
Aye.
Trustee Gadway is absent. The mayor votes aye. And you have the short form attached to it. Okay. Let's see. Our son, I don't have a copy of that budget resolution.
Here.
Yeah, good. Oh, okay, let me use yours. Thank you. Okay, resolution that 20-06 budget modification. Basically, some of this is transferring funds from this year's current budget carried over to next year's budget, like the contingency fund and some other things. Also, there was a major overspend in the fire department for a truck that needed to be repaired of over $16,000. And the fire chief has worked out some changes in his budget to cover that, and that's in here also, at least part of it. So, and there's Civic Center, see here. Some of these are very small amounts. We're taking some sewer fund appropriations and, out of the contingent account to pay for this this sewer line, the pipe that we bought. Let's see. Okay. Whereas the Board of Trustees deems it advisable to make certain modifications to the 2019-20 village budget, be it therefore resolved that the treasurer is authorized and directed to make the following modifications to the village budget for fiscal year 2019-2020. General fund appropriations, decrease the appropriation 155,028 and increase the fund and decrease the appropriated fund balance 155,028. Rec Center, net result is 3,000 increase in appropriated fund balance and increase in appropriations 3,000. Water capital project reserves, state aid capital projects increase 36,000 and decrease appropriated fund balance and increase appropriations by 36,000. Anyway, I move that to the floor for a second.
Second?
Where did you just read that from?
The last one there, water capital projects.
Okay.
Okay. Roll call vote, trustee Arnold,
Aye.
trustee Dart,
Aye.
trustee Menard,
Aye.
and trustee Gab. Trustee Gadway is absent, the mayor votes aye. What is that? Thank you. Let's see. Okay, I've received the Barton and Judas contract. I'm sending that to the village attorney for review.
I did that on Friday.
Okay.
I have not heard back.
All right,
I talked to Barton and Judas, I read the contract. The only thing in there that was, that we discussed that will be changed is the payment. They said in the contract that'll be a lump sum, it will not be a lump
right,
sum.
that's what we questioned.
Yes, so that's the only change in the agreement, and everything else is pretty standard. So as soon as the contract is approved by the board and signed, the sooner we can get meetings scheduled and we can go forward.
Right, we already have permission to sign it, I was waiting for the lawyer to get back, so.
Yes,
And I also want his other projection before I do that too, so.
yes.
All right. Trustee Arnold,
Executive session for employee history of a particular employee.
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The water plant, the filter is all put back together and it's working well. And it's run all week without have to change the filter. So it's running really well.
Yeah, it is.
So that's all I have tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Trustee,
A couple items. One of them is that Zachary Roberts passed all necessary items, and he is now qualified to be a filtration plant water system operator. His pay will increase and be retroactive back to the 5th of this month, 2020.
correct, yep.
And I put that out as a motion.
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And the other thing is I'd like to request an executive session discussing employment history of a particular person.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anything else?
No, they'll do it, thank you.
Okay, trustee Menard.
I have a letter from Montgomery Post Legion, American Legion 912, from Karen Weierstahl. I'll read it says, in the past, our committee has been fortunate that the village has generously made donations to help us host such an amazing event, talking about the 4th of July. This year, we're hoping to bring back the decades-old tradition of the best 4th of July event in the North Country, helping in a big way. Making this weekend a premier summer community event that bring commerce to our community. And they are asking, we hope you will consider a donation of $5,000 to help us continue this annual tradition. In addition, we respectfully request that the village cover the expenses of additional portable toilets needed to support the village-wide event. As of right now, there's $4,400 in the budget for the celebration, and we don't have anything in, so we'd have to bump that up to 5,000 if the board would so wish. And it's $1,130 for the portable toilets
So it's a,
for the weekend.
A lot of money for toilets for the weekend.
But all depends on what you got.
5 toilets, it looks like.
we're looking for a $1,700 increase in this.
Yes.
How many toilets?
Looks like 5.
Five?
That's the way it is, yeah. The 5 toilets are $690 for Friday to Sunday. And they come and empty them on Saturday, which is a $220 cost. And then they come again and empty them on Sunday, which is another $220 cost, for a total of $1,130.
Okay,
That's from Ilema for a complete excavation and septic service.
That's the one you got for the railroad station.
which one is it?
Complete excavation
Vermont?
and septic service.
I think that's the one we got for the train station. Those aren't bad prices, because I deal with a couple other things over in Vermont where we rent those, and they used to be $75 a day, but that was a while ago. Okay, I'll take that under consideration for budget purposes, I'll act as this is like a budget input sheet and see if I can fit it in there.
Okay,
And then, this will be something that.
we'll get back to you, Karen.
Yeah. And we'll let you know as soon as we can, because we know you gotta make your plans around the money. They're not gonna hold you up to the last minute, but,
Right.
we gotta see where it's gonna fit in.
Absolutely, thank you.
Yeah. We appreciate the work you're doing on this. I know it's not easy. And if it is easy, then you haven't got to the good part yet.
Can I ask her a question?
Sure.
Can, on the fireworks,
Yeah.
that goes towards the fireworks too, right?
The monies?
Yeah.
Yep.
I know years ago, I think the village used to put in $5,000 for fireworks.
Looking at past histories, it went up to almost 9,000 at one point, and it's dropped and down to where it is now, to like 4,400. So you're probably right.
Is there a log in our send?
We've never paid $9,000 for fireworks, that must have.
No, I'm saying, but in the whole budget years ago?
What's that?
Did it ever go up to 9,000?
No.
No.
Most of the village, since I've been here, most villages ever budgeted for the July 4th celebration is $5,000 a year.
Now, the way this has to work is, we can't donate you money. You have to send us a bill, and we pay it, like it was billed to the village.
Gotcha.
And typically, they bill the fireworks directly to the village, and just to come up with whatever it needs to come up with the amount of money that's budgeted.
Right.
But I know Visor used to pay a lot towards the fireworks too.
Yeah.
Yes, they-
They used to give, look, again, the records that I have are
Yeah.
just informal records that I saw. It might have been an ask for $9,000 that I saw that didn't get approved.
Well, it might have been
But it was
5,000
like
from the village and maybe 4,000 from Pfizer,
I think it
That's
was
what I'm
$3,000
thinking, yeah.
from.
which wouldn't have come through our books, but would have been the total amount. And I think, didn't Stewart's kick in a bunch, a couple of years?
Price Chopper did, I think.
Price Chopper, it historically has been 1,000, Pfizer was 3,000. Those are the big ones.
The ARS may be able to help you
We're
out too.
working on it,
Yeah.
If
we're
you,
working on it. Everywhere you
now
go.
at them business meeting people that you have, when you have them at the Legion,
Yep.
if they could, I mean, it's for the village and stuff, and I know these big companies like Pod and all them and stuff, and some of the restaurants and stuff, but they make good sized money on on the 4th of July, like the Legion and stuff, if they could kick in a good sized amount, you know, that would help you out enormously.
Absolutely.
I know the Legion's always been generous on the
Oh,
Fourth of
yeah.
July, so one way or another, they come
They've
through.
been amazing.
Yeah. So, yeah, alrighty. Okay.
Okay,
And the second thing, I have
Any
another,
more?
just an information, on February 22nd, which would be Saturday, the Rouses Point rink is having local day at the rink. So if you come from 10:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m., all Rouses Point residents will skate for free with a proof of address. And we do have skate rentals for $4. So on Saturday, February 22nd, 10:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m., there'll be open skate. And if you're a Ross Point resident, it's free. And that's all I have.
that's a good deal.
Yep.
Okay,
Make a motion for recess?
no, we gotta do,
Oh, sorry.
other departments here. I guess we only have Mr. Cooper.
We're muddling along, nothing moving too fast in the village right now, especially after a day like today.
Okay, I'll open the meeting to the public to address the board again at any time, any issue you want to. Being no one from the public that wishes to address the board, I'll entertain a motion to go into recess.
Second?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will go see, he was all excited, he called me Sunday on the phone, and he was on top of the world.
Who's it?
Matt Tasso. He was certainly,
Second one willing to think
people,
about it.
people are willing to help
Unless we
and.
went over Vermont.
I
I thought somebody said there was one on
And I was talking to.
Lake Street again. Do they have like a rekindle or something again, or?
No, that was a.
Great, it was like.